Hey everyone, welcome back to another unsponsored guitar review. Today we are going to review the Solar Guitars T1.7. It has an alder body, it's matte black, it has the active pickups, the Fishaman Fluence Moderns. Now, before we talk about it, let's hear how it sounds. Alright, so there you have it. Now let's talk about this. Let's see, first of all let's talk about the playability. So the neck is pretty good. It's actually one of the most comfortable 7-string necks I've ever played. I'd say it's like kind of a thin C, like thin to medium C. It feels pretty good. String spacing is pretty cool. 26.5 inch scale length. Let's see, the bevels on it are pretty comfortable to play. But as you can see, the guitar is kind of heavy. It's like slipping out of my sweaty hand right here. So we're going to put that down real quick. Guitars are heavy. It's kind of like body heavy, which can be a little inconvenient when you're trying to play sitting down like standard style. Classical style, it's okay, but the tummy cut, the belly cut, actually kind of cuts into your sternum, like your rib cage a little bit. Standing upright though, it feels pretty comfortable. I mean, it is a single cut, so the strap does kind of like pull a little bit on it, so make sure your strap isn't too old, but otherwise you'll be just fine. Besides, you could always get like strap locks too. In terms of sound, they're basically like pretty typical actives, the Fishaman Fluence Moderns. It does sound pretty good through the 3-way switch, and it does have the push-pull to change voices. I find it doesn't really matter too much. Doesn't make a bit of difference, and in a mix, at least for me and how I mix, the first voice sounds good enough anyway, like you can't really tell. The Evertune on this thing is pretty nice too. No real issues. I've had some Evertunes in the past on some guitars. They've had some issues, but this one's been so far so good. Nothing's gotten stuck or anything. I like to keep my Evertunes like in the bend zone, and because of that, I have to have a little higher tension on the strings as usual. Basically, you control the tension through the tuners, and you tune the guitar through some Allen keyholes. It comes with an Allen key to do that with. Also, in terms of playability here, you could see it sits pretty naturally, pretty nicely for playing standing up. One issue is because it's a set neck and you have the 24 frets, but it's a single cut. It's actually a little difficult to reach all the way up to the 24th fret here. Like you could see my thumb is way up here, and then my fingers are like way over here. If you're like shredding and trying to get your thumb behind the neck, you have to get it like lower behind the neck than usual. Like if you had like a double cutaway, because you can kind of see right here, there's really just so much wood up here versus down here. So that's something to keep in mind if you're like shredding a lot up here, like thumb behind the neck kind of stuff. It's not the best. In terms of riffing though, it feels great. And if you're like playing like all the way down here, playing over here, around here, like everywhere else, it's just wonderful, super comfortable. In terms of looks, I mean, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I think it's pretty classy. It's kind of cool, like a nice metal T-style guitar. As for other things, obviously for tuning stability, you've got the Evertune. This is the one model, so you've got the steel frets, and you've got the locking tuners. Locking tuners work well enough. Again, the Evertune isn't magic. Like, the wood is still gonna like shift and react to temperature. The strings are still gonna bind in the nut. So you'll find if you're keeping the strings in the bend zone, like the tuning in the bend zone, you'll find you'll have to like adjust it periodically, basically tuning the guitar as the wood shift and all that. But in general, like it doesn't shift too much. Overall, I have no complaints. It's been my go-to rhythm guitar whenever I need to use a 7-string. It's served me well. The Evertune's been great. The pickups sound good. Steel frets are nice and smooth. There's been no like quality issues. Like there hasn't been any fret cracking. I used to condition the fretboard every 6 months or so. Now it's been maybe a little bit longer than that, but it's been fine. There's no cracks have been developing. Still feels pretty smooth, still plays pretty well. Overall, would I recommend it? I'd say so. It's like on the, I guess, upper end of like budget-minded guitars, but it is pretty much worth it. It's worth it if you don't mind like a heavier guitar, because this is made of alder, it's not made of ash. And again, if the higher fret axis isn't an issue for you, it's also pretty much worth it too. So that's up to you if you even use the 24th fret or if you want to go that high. So overall, would I recommend it? Yes. Would I buy it again if it was stolen? Maybe. If I'm gonna take one guitar out to play during the day, whether it's like a show or like a band practice or even like a hangout, if I'm gonna want to be playing up here, because I do have some songs that go up here, I would probably want another guitar, because it does get pretty uncomfortable and my hand has cramped a few times. But if I know for sure I'm gonna be only playing up here, then this would be just fine. So that's pretty much it. Did I cover everything you wanted to know? Do you have any other questions? Let me know in the comments, etc., etc. There's been another episode of Unsponsored Guitar Reviews. And yeah, thank you very much for listening.